Good morning and happy Mother's Day. So we've just popped up the plot to pick some daffodils for the wife and my mother, and we're just going to do a plot tour for March while we're here. So sit back, relax and enjoy. I'm using a wireless mic with the thing that's supposed to stop the wind, like a windshield attachment to the mic, so hopefully it's not too bad. So I'm here on plot 1, and this plot is the one with the permanent bean bed, the potato cum green manure dig bed. This is the only plot that we don't do no dig. We are first time, and it's mainly going to be potatoes on here. So we're going to have like the first earlies, second earlies, and then the main crop. So that's going to get rotivated. We've cut down the green manure, which was the Phacelia. I just ran over it with the lawnmower and then sprinkled it all the way over, and then we're going to rotivate that in and dig that into the ground. Got a little bit of bark chip in there, and we just need to finish and refresh this path here. So as I said, we're on here with the permanent bean bed, and in here we've got our elephant garlic. You can see that it's starting to grow really well. You've got the canes all along the back where the runner beans go, and I think we're going to go French climbing beans this year as well. On the back we've got all our onions planted, and that's Stuttgarter. You can just about see the holes through the membrane, and if I come around here I can show you some of them that have started to peek through. There's one there. A few more noticeable ones along the back here. So there's about 80 onions in the back here, and along with the elephant garlic over there, we've got this one here is a Solent white garlic. Along the back we've got purple garlic. The end here needs to be dug over. Not quite sure what we're doing along there, and as I said, yeah, here's the early purple. You may remember this here is what we got from a raided cannabis farm. The police said we could help ourselves, and we've got about 5 tons brought up to the allotment. All they've done was just cut off the plants and left the cannabis bags. We've got tons and tons of cannabis bags, and this is just pure cocoa soil, so cocoa coir with these little pebbles. It's supposed to help with drainage and water retention. In the back here we've got 2 thornless blackberries, one here and one here. Just waiting for Ben, who's here with me today, to finish painting the other trellis, and then that will go in there. I think also we're going to get some bean and pea netting along the canes all the way along there, just to help the runners, bind to something extra rather than just the canes, and give that a little bit of additional support with the weather. So this is our job for this week. I know we're going to get quite a bit of rain, but we are going to start chitting the potatoes today, so give those a couple of weeks towards the end of March, and then we're going to get the first earlies in. We've got these concrete gravel boards here that we're going to sit between the rows, and that will just help stepping between the rows, and obviously when we're earthing up the potatoes, just give us something a little bit firmer to stand on. So yeah, that is the state of play with plot 1. I'm just going to head over to plot 5 and I'll show you over there. So when you hear me refer to the cannabis dumped cocoa coir, they also left a bag of this, and this is what they're using. And it's a hydro cocoa 60-40, so 60% cocoa coir, 40% of these little pebbly things. So yeah, this is the stuff that they used to grow, and we were able to get about 5 tonne of it for nothing. I'm now on plot 5. This is going to be wildflowers this year, and we've got our 2 globe artichokes in here. We might move them because of the wind that comes from a golf course over here, and they have had a bit of wind damage in the past. This is only their 2nd season growing, but yeah, we lost a lot of foliage and it's had to restart again. So this is the archway with the 2 planters that Ben and I built, and then we've planted 2 evergreen climbers in here. So we've got Lonicera Copper Beauty, and then we've clematis in here. The wind's actually put down the label, so I don't know what type of clematis it is. It's just starting to get some little buds there. And then we've moved trees from the back into the front here, and we've taken the dahlias out of here and took them home. We're going to plant them at home. This bed here is the daffodil bed. We've got about 3 harvests already for Mother's Day and some for home. What we actually gave them all the ones that are all closed up, put them in a vase of water, and by the next morning they were all open. So as we move around, we've got 4 trees on this plot now. They were the ones that we healed in on the back when we first got them, so they're all in their resting place now. We have got 2 tree stakes to go in the front too, like we had on the back one, and we're going to sink some tubes down where we pour water in, because this has a membrane and bark over. This is the only bit left that we've got to do. We've got some autumn raspberries in here that we keep digging them up. This is where the old plot hole used to have them, but obviously you can leave a bit of root, they come up. But we do get quite a few raspberries off them. I haven't pulled them out, but they're all, I didn't cut them back, but they're all budded up well, so I'm not going to cut them down now. Remember, right, this is our herb, flower and fruit bed, which is Ben's. We wanted a simple no dig plot that Ben can manage when he's at school, so we've only got the weekend. So as well as mine at the back needs a lot of work, trying to make this low maintenance. So we've got herbs all the way down the side here and along the back in these blue tubs. The trees, if I remember rightly, I know this one's a cherry here, but we've got an apple, pear and a plum. So as we move along the herbs, this is where our coriander goes. We've got to set some new for this year. This here is lemon verbena. It did the old foliage all start to flower from last year, but then we had the cold weather and killed it all off again, so we have cut it down to the bottom. But this will send up all new shoots. And this one is rosemary, had a good haircut. And you can see that the level of the compost in these has dropped. This is because when we filled them up we used the hugelkultur method, so we just threw in the bottom cardboard, bark chippings, old tree branches, just so it's not so expensive to fill them up, and then over time that rots down and the level drops, and we just top it up with multi-purpose compost or a homemade mix from up there, which I'll show you. Rosemary's had a haircut, needs to be topped up with soil. Green thyme, that's had a haircut as well. When we first got mint, we put about 5 or 6 different varieties in here, which was a stupid idea because they're all intertwined with each other. Mint's quite evasive, so now we don't know what's what. So we have got about 12 new mint plants that we're trying all the different varieties, and I'll show you them shortly. And here we've got lemon balm. You can just see it all coming up In the front, sage, parsley. This one's a pineapple sage. This is oregano, obviously that dies off at the end of the year, so we've got set seeds for that. The oregano got back in here. This one has got French parsley in. This one here is our newly planted comfrey, which is a bocking 14. And we've got a chive, and then we've got a spare empty one here that we adopted from where they used to be at the front arch. In these beds here we've got cranberries in these two. These two we thinned out and we're cutting all the runners off. Those ones we've just let to go wild and they pretty much filled the whole bay. I think we're just going to cut the runners back now to put all the energy back into the plants to produce fruit. All these ones do need trimming up the dead foliage. We have done this one, which is a strawberry. Remember rightly, it's a honey-ho in here and Florence, so half honey-ho, half Florence. And we topped the compost up there and removed all the dead foliage. This here is where we grow the long parsnips and carrots. Again, all wants topping up. These here are rogue onion and garlic from last year. I think the garlic, we had everything garlic in here, little bulblets we've got left in. I'm going to pull all that out, not sure what's going to go in there yet. This one's got apple mint. This is the after 8 mint. And you can just see all the new foliage is all coming up nicely there. This one's a lemon mint. And again you can see all the new foliage coming up there. This one's an Indian mint. This one is just your plain common garden mint. And here's a back peppermint. I haven't got it planted yet because we've got to take these heathers out. If you remember, we had heathers in here and we had pansies and trees in here. So they've got to come out, and then this black peppermint will go in there. You can see it's all growing up nicely. And this one is a berries and cream mint. Again, we've got all the new foliage coming up. And this one here is our favourite, it's a chocolate mint. And you can see again all the new foliage. So moving over onto my plot, this is the year-old compost. We've still got a few twigs and bits and pieces, but I just put them into an old compost bag, take them home, put them in our garden waste bin. But as you can see, it's not a bad compost. It's alright as a mulch. When I top all these up, I'll do half of this, and then I've got some bags of proper compost there just to top it up on the top. This was our compost bay that we lined with the Proplex sheeting. You can see how much the level's dropped now between the top and the carpet, so that is breaking down nicely. We just have the carpet on it to hold the moisture and the heat, helps it break down quicker. And this one here is just over a year old. This is a lot of the stuff from home. She's only about 6 months old. We've got a cow manure in this bay. That's coming up to a 2nd year old. That's just rotting down nicely. And here we've got all our spent topsoil and compost where we grew potatoes in. You can still see some potatoes in here. This has all got to be dug out, turned over and weeded. Ben's been sorting these bays out here. We want to have little fish ponds, so we've got this old header tank here that we're going to try and sink into the ground. And then we've got our blue water pipes there. Over here we've got our runner beans, which are, I can't remember, begins with a D, I think. Yeah, if I remember I'll put it in the comments. We've got 1, 2, 3 bays here have got to be weeded, top dressed, and then we're going to put the membrane over the top just to cut down on the weeding. We've got the water pots at the bottom here. We've got the lids upturned with stones in, so that just catches groundwater, so any rubbish getting in there. and that's just purely filling up from rainwater at the top. This bed here we're going to take out. We've got the community water butts there, and to get to there we have to walk all the way around, so we're going to take this bed out here so we've got an easy access. In here we've got the remainders of our purple sprouting broccoli, which the pigeons seem to like. Every time I leave the top off, a good feast on it, but we've had a good harvest of that. We're going to get a few bits today for dinner. There's a few bits, there's only Ben and I that eat it. So we've got enough little spears there that we can cut off. Brussels, we've still got some. They are on the turn now, but once they're peeled, should be some salvageable Brussels still in there. Again, more sprouting broccoli there, and Brussels there. Over here we've got some summer farm rice which has got to be dug out and this bed sorted out. Over here we've got blackcurrant, gooseberry, tabor on here, another gooseberry cut in there and another gooseberry cut in there which aren't doing very well. Cut those about 2 years ago. Last year our rhubarb was absolutely terrible. We had that one harvest, we couldn't get enough water on it. This year we decided that we were going to force the middle one. Ben's just lifting the lid off now, and you can see here the nice thin stalks, which should be a lot sweeter. It does take all the energy out of the plant, so I'd only advise doing that once every 2 or 3 years, but because we've got the 3 beds, 3 plants, so we thought we'd just give it a go. So first time doing it. I'll report back how the apple crumble turns out. And then we've got the other one over here. We've got some mini fruit trees here and a grape at the back. We might be moving this grape home. We never seem to get much off it over here, starting to bud up. Yeah, so that might be on home into the greenhouse. So here again there's the mini trees. So jobs for spring, we need to get more raised beds built on here. We've got to bring them all the way to the front. And I think we worked out we was going to have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 beds. So that allows us to have 15 crops. And then we've obviously got the brassicas over there. We are going to have to move that this year. I'm probably going to make smaller cages on some of these beds and separate the crops rather than planting them all in the same bed, so you just, you get all the goodness and that back into the soil using crop rotation. So that's how we are here in the IBC tank. You can see we've about half filled it, and that's mainly from water that we've collected in our rainwater collection bins that we've got here. Just allow the rain to fill down, and then we tip them all right into there. And when the water butts on Ben's plot over here are full, we pump water from there into the IBC tank. Now we are going to do another video on using water on your plot and what you can do if you don't have access to water. I do see a lot of YouTubers that don't have access to water. We're quite fortunate here. It's including a ramp. We just can't attach in the hose parts. They've got these galvanised tanks where they are floating, and as the water level drops it just fills it back up, so there's no way of attaching any pipes or anything like that to it. So that's the state of play here. You saw in the early video the plot one over there. We're going to start rotivating that this week, ready for the first early potatoes to go in, which are sitting in the greenhouse. And you'll see that video very shortly in the next couple of days. Us sowing the seeds and clearing the greenhouse and getting everything ready. Just got a storage fence along here. Just keeps all our bamboo and everything tidy. So Ben's plot is pretty much done, apart from the bark over there. We've got some weeds coming through here. I think that's where the join was on the I can just about see the weed membrane underneath, so we'll have to try and do something there. Probably put some weed killer down, and then just a few around the edge there. Got some rogue onions and that again in here. We had this as a spring wildflower mix 2 years ago, and we was impressed with it really well. So yeah, this is Gary and Ben from G&B Allotment Vlogs. I hope you enjoyed this video, so please do leave us a comment below and hit the thumbs up button, and if you're not subscribed, consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell so you get notified of all our new videos. You can also check us out on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. The links are in the description of this video to go to those sites. If you're interested, we do put a few pictures up onto Instagram. Nice to see you, and we'll see you in the next video.